I'm Gordon Gochenauer, the oncology practice lead at Syma International. In my ASCO preview, I discussed dual immunotherapy, particularly combining a PD-1 and PD-L1 antibody with another type of novel immunotherapy. And I also discussed combining immunotherapy with chemotherapy, particularly in non-small cell lung cancer. This was undoubtedly the talk of ASCO. However, manufacturers are also combining immunotherapy with other targeted agents, like PARP inhibitors in breast and ovarian cancer, ALK inhibitors in lung cancer, and VEGF inhibitors in renal cell carcinoma. These agents each come with their own class or target-related toxicities, so there's always a risk that combinations with PD-1 or PD-L1 antibodies won't be possible at full doses, or would only be possible at. This was historically true with attempts to combine PARP inhibitors with chemotherapy in several cancers, and also with VEGF and or mTOR inhibitors in renal cell carcinoma. As I mentioned in part 3 of my ASCO review, the PARP inhibitors, particularly Rubraca from Clovis, Lynparza from AstraZeneca, Zejula from Tesaro, and Talazoparib from Pfizer, are all in development or approved for ovarian cancer, breast cancer, and more recently, prostate cancer. I think one of the underrated trials presented at ASCO was the Tapatio Trial, which combined Keytruda with Zejula in ovarian and triple-negative breast cancer. Response rates were pretty good in the overall populations of ovarian cancer and triple-negative breast cancer, but were nearly doubled when looking particularly in patients with BRCA-mutated ovarian and breast cancer. This trial provides a solid proof of concept that combining PD-1 and PARP inhibitors is a good route for clinical development in Phase 2 and Phase 3. So Tesaro currently has a lot of hope for its PD-1 inhibitor TSR-042 in combination with Zejula in breast, lung, and ovarian cancer. Pfizer is also combining its PARP inhibitor Talazoparib in Phase 2 with its PD-1 inhibitor Bavencio. AstraZeneca also has a Phase 2 trial combining Lynparza with Imfinzi. And there's also a cross-company trial. BMS's Opdivo is in a Phase 3 trial in combination with Rubraca in ovarian cancer. Separately, most of the PD-1 inhibitors, PD-1 and PD-L1 inhibitors, are also in single-agent Phase 3 trials for ovarian cancer or in combination with chemotherapy in triple-negative breast cancer. Moving on to non-small cell lung cancer, the majority of the Phase 3 trials of PD-1 and PD-L1 inhibitors in lung cancer have excluded patients with EGFR mutations or ALK alterations. However, at ASCO, we saw promising Phase 1 data that combined the immunotherapy agents with ALK inhibitors. So we saw Phase 1 data combining Bavencio with Pfizer's Xalkori or its third-generation inhibitor lorlatinib. Unfortunately, the Bavencio and Xalkori combination isn't going to move forward in Phase 3 due to toxicity, but they are moving forward with the combination of Bavencio with lorlatinib. Also, we saw data with Genentech's Tecentriq in combination with its ALK inhibitor Alecensa. So both drugs were tolerated in combination at full doses, and there's promising results in Phase 1, and that will likely move into further clinical development. And moving on to renal cell carcinoma, as I mentioned previously, attempts to combine VEGF inhibitors with each other or with mTOR inhibitors was unsuccessful in the past due to toxicities. However, we know that single-agent immunotherapy is active in RCC. Opdivo and Keytruda are already approved in RCC. At ASCO, we saw updated data from the iMotion 151 study, which combined Tecentriq with Avastin. That combination improved PFS over Sutent, particularly in PD-1 expressing patients, and with also a trend to improved overall survival. So this is the first Phase 3 trial that showed that combining a VEGF inhibitor with as a monotherapy or in combination with an immunotherapy agent that was successful in Phase 3. There's also several other Phase 3 trials ongoing. Essentially, every company that had a PD-1 or PD-L1 inhibitor already on the market has a combination trial ongoing in RCC. So there's the Eisai-sponsored CLEAR study, which combines Keytruda with Lenvima. That's versus Afinitor or Afinitor plus Lenvima or Sutent alone. Pfizer has the first-line Javelin Renal 101 study, which is combining Bavencio with Inlyta. That's versus Sutent. BMS has the Checkmate 9ER study that combines Opdivo with Exelixis's Cabometyx in phase 3. And also, the PD-1 and PD-L1 inhibitors are also in development as monotherapy as well, particularly in early stage renal cell carcinoma. So a lot of action going on in renal cell carcinoma in the immunotherapy space. So particularly, I think, down the road in potentially ASCO 2020 or even sooner, we'll see some of these phase 3 results that successfully will combine immunotherapy with targeted agents like PARP inhibitors or TKIs either in lung cancer or renal cell carcinoma.